Hey, it's Ashley here, founder and CEO Behind the Numbers Financial Consulting and the Know Your Money Honey brand. So today I want to talk with you or share with you what is the difference between accounting, bookkeeping, and financial management. So I am sure that you may have heard those terms used out here on the social media streets or even out here in the business world. And you may be wondering, wait a minute, so what is what and when do I do what? All right. So I want to go ahead and break down those details for you so that you know exactly what you need and when you need it in your business, or shall I say when you need to apply it in your business. All right. So up first is bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is essentially just the recording of the financial transactions in your business, or should I say of your business. So these are going to be things such as recording and categorizing your income and recording and categorizing your expenses. So bookkeeping, look at it as the foundation of your business financial picture. Okay, it's the foundation. All right, so what I mean by categorizing, recording and categorizing your income transactions is basically recording and categorizing your sales transactions, right? The sales that you made for the month, whether depending on the type of business that you have and the type of services and products that you offer, you can categorize your incoming sales by their specific categories. So for example, if you are a spa owner, then you may offer both services and products at your particular spa. So those services could be massages or facials. The products, on the other hand, could be moisturizers or facial toners, right? So those can be your products. So you will essentially, as you accumulate your sales during the month, you will typically at the end of the month go in and categorize those sales by their specific sales category, okay? And then as far as it relates to recording and categorizing your expenses, so some of the expenses in your spa may be rent that you pay each month to house your spa. It could also be supplies such as cleaning supplies, sanitation supplies that you use in your business day in and day out. And other expenses could include payroll if you have employees in your spa, or if you have contractors in your specific spa. Other expenses may be office expenses like your telephone, your internet, so things of that nature that you incur in your business day in and day out. All right. So again, your bookkeeping is essentially the recording and categorizing of the day-to-day transactions that take place in your business. These are the selling and the buying transactions. All right. Now you may be wondering, okay, well, when you say recording and categorizing, where am I doing this at? Typically, more businesses use what we like to call a cloud-based accounting software to record and categorize their business income and expense transactions. Okay. Now, if you don't utilize an accounting software like a Xero or QuickBooks or Patriot or FreshBooks, then you can also utilize a spreadsheet. Okay, you can utilize an Excel spreadsheet or a Google spreadsheet to record and categorize your monthly transactions. Okay, your monthly revenue / income and your expense transactions. Now you may be wondering, well, if I am not a salon owner, but I provide more services, more like in the consulting space, then how would that work for me as far as bookkeeping is concerned? Well, it's really no different. It's just, your bookkeeping may involve sending invoices to your clients each month especially if you have a consulting agreement in place. So that will be part of your book, an additional item within your bookkeeping task that you need to do, right? Because you'll be invoicing your clients, okay? And on the other end of that, it could also involve things like paying bills, so maybe you are a consultant, but you have a contractor who is invoicing you so that you can pay them for their services for assisting you with your client work, okay? So that may involve you also recording the amounts that you pay or recording invoices from your contractors, right, that you have to pay out, okay? So you may be wondering, well, if I have to pay them out, can I just record that as expense when I actually make the payment? Of course, you definitely can. That's all up to you versus having to actually record an invoice from your contractor. So bookkeeping, again, it is straightforward and to the point. It's recording and categorizing your income and expense transactions that occur in your business or that you incur in your business on a monthly basis, on a daily and on a monthly basis. All right. Bookkeeping is also essential because the bookkeeping is your foundation. It's the foundation and it sets the stage for the accounting. All right. It sets the stage for the accounting. And before I get into the accounting, there's one more thing I'm going to say. Bookkeeping is also historical in nature because a lot of times business owners are not necessarily doing their bookkeeping right when everything is happening. So if you're waiting to the end of the month, then those transactions have already happened. So that's what we call bookkeeping like historical. But if you want to be proactive, you can and get insight early on during the month, then you can actually do this on a weekly basis. Okay. But the whole key is that it is basically the foundation for your business finances. All right, now we can get into accounting. So accounting is basically the analyzing and the interpreting of the bookkeeping information in the form of financial reports, aka financial statements. So these financial reports and financial statements are essentially your profit and loss report, aka the income statement, as well as your balance sheet, which is basically a summation of what the business owns, what the business owes, and how much earnings or profits the business has been keeping or retaining, right? So the accounting side is typically a little bit more involved, a little bit more in depth. The accounting piece follows what we call GAAP reporting, generally accepted accounting principles. And typically when you are working with an accountant, and they may also do, your bookkeeping and of course prepare the financial reports for you. And so they, in essence, are using that data to be able to say, okay, this is how the business performed this month, right? Our sales were this much, or our revenues were this much this month. And then our expenses were this amount. So that gave us a profit of XYZ, right? But then again, having those financial reports in the accounting phase will also help you to see where you can make how you need to go about making decisions in your business, what adjustments you need to make if you feel like, or if the number, I'm not going to say if you feel like, because the numbers don't lie, right? But if you need to make adjustments based on what the numbers are showing on your financial reports, you are able to make those decisions. So if that means you're comparing the previous month's reports to the current month's financial reports, and you're seeing some drastic differences as it relates to your sales, your expenses, and even more importantly, your cash flow, then this will allow you to make those changes. So I like to look at the accounting piece as more of the, hey, the answering the questions of the who, what, when, where, why, and how, right? So that we can make changes going forward. Okay, another basis of accounting, or I'm going to say another basis, but another thing that you need to know about the accounting for your business is that the accounting is also good, and it serves as the next level of foundation when it comes to like your tax reporting. So when it's time to prepare your business tax return, right? You're typically going to have your financial reports available, ready, so that the information can be allocated to the actual tax return. All right. And so that is essentially the basis for the accounting. Okay. Now you may be wondering, well, what if, am I supposed to be doing both the bookkeeping and the accounting in my business? Well, it all depends. So sometimes business owners, if they are not yet ready to work one-on-one with an accountant or work one-on-one with a bookkeeper, then they may do it you may do it yourself. And it's no problem with that. But I always say, at least once or twice a year, maybe 3 times out of the year, have a bookkeeper or an accountant look over your numbers just to make sure everything looks good, it's right, and that you have, no issues. But all in all, you as the business owner, though, you need to know your numbers. So this is something that you want to make sure that you stay on top of, so that you can make, be able to make better business decisions. All right. Okay. So you may be asking next, well, if I don't have an accounting software, what can I use? So you can use a spreadsheet, all right? Excel spreadsheet. So Google or Excel spreadsheet or a money journal to track those transactions, okay? And then lastly, let's talk about financial management. I call financial management like the high level overview for the business. So financial management really involves and entails the forecasting, the planning, and the analyses going forward. So once we know how we've been doing, and we're making the decisions to make changes that we see fit or that we need to put in place to meet the long-term goals, this is where financial management comes into place. So that's budgeting, right? That's cash flow forecasting. Are we going to have enough, cash on hand to cover our next 2 months, 6 months, 12 months of business expenses? How are we planning for doing more investments, making more investments into the business, or the business making investments elsewhere so that we can, increase the business assets or increase what the business owns, okay? So financial management is more forward looking. Again, that is something that you have to be proactive in as well. Now, can you as the business owner do that on your own? Maybe, but it's also a good time to enlist the help of an accountant or a CFO to help with those particular things as it relates to the financial management for your business. All right. So the one thing to remember about financial management, it is the forward-looking phase as it relates to business finances. All right. So I will be back with another video. Hope this helped you out as it relates to knowing and understanding the differences between bookkeeping, accounting, and financial management.